Good morning, children. Welcome back to the lesson A House is Not a Home, written by Zan Gaudioso. Dear children, we had a session on this already and we discussed about the theme of the lesson as well as detailed introduction about the writer Zan Gaudioso, a female writer from California. Okay, the story is about a teenager, okay, and the problems of growing up, okay. Then how the author overcomes his problem. That is what the story is about. And we have come across that the boy has got a shift from junior high to the senior high school. Okay, there he felt himself isolated because he lost all his old friends and teachers. Okay, and on one Sunday afternoon he was doing his homework. Suddenly he could see some smoke entering his room, and suddenly and quickly it spread all over, and he was groping for the way out, and he immediately ran to his neighbors to call the fire department. And he could also see his mother entering the house to collect a few important documents, and for the second time she entered the burning house to collect his father's photo and some of the letters written by him. And the boy was not allowed to enter the burning house by the fireman, because fireman knew it would be dangerous for a teenager to manage the fire. There we stopped, dear children. Now we are at page number 50. All of you take page number 50. He wrapped a blanket around me and sat me down in our car. Soon after that, a fireman emerged from our house uh, with my mother in tow. So you can see in the picture how these firemen are dousing the fire of that house. Okay, so what did the fireman do with the boy? The fireman wrapped a blanket because it is very chilly outside. So he covered the boy with, wrapped the boy with a blanket and allowed him to sit in our car. Okay, car was there. Soon after that, a fireman came out from the house with his mother. Okay, in tow means following closely behind. Write down, tow means following closely behind. Following closely behind. You may have seen a tow car. Okay, when a car or any other vehicle meet with an accident, there will be another car. It is called towing carriage. Okay, it will be connected that with a chain or coil and it will drag. So that is towing. So like that, the fireman was bringing her behind him, like towing means following closely behind. He quickly took her over to the truck and put an oxygen mask on her, and she was taken to the truck and oxygen mask was given to her. I ran over and hugged her. What is hugged? Embraced her. All those times I never ever argued with her and hated her, vanished at the thought of losing her. Actually, the teenagers, okay, you also might be arguing with your parents as a teenager, but when the mother met with a accident here means she was unable to breathe properly because of the smoke, and she is in a unhealthy condition. Then author felt sympathy on her. Suddenly his hatred towards her vanished means disappeared at the thought of losing her. He thought he is going to lose her, his mother. She is going to be okay, said the fireman. But the fireman said, nothing is going bad with your mother. She is going to be okay. She just inhaled a little smoke. What was the problem with her? Inhaled. What is inhaled? Taking the breath inside. Inhale, opposite, exhale. Inhaling, exhaling. So she inhaled a little smoke, and then he ran back to fight the fire while my mother and I sat there dazed. Dazed means unable to think. Confused. In single word you can say confused. Dazed means when your brain is not working properly, when you cannot think in a proper sense, that condition is called dazed, because the entire house is engulfed in fire. I remember watching my house burn down and thinking that there was nothing I could do about it. Actually, that was the situation. Both the mother and the son could do something, or could not do anything to save the house. 5 hours later, the fire was finally out. So, how much time did the fire take to destroy the house? 5 hours. Our house was almost completely burned down, but then it struck me I hadn't seen my cat. Suddenly, the author remembered about his cat. Where was my cat? Much to my horror, I realized that she was nowhere to be found, and he searched for the cat here and there but could not be found. Then, all at once, it hit me the new school, the fire, my cat. I broke down in tears, means started crying and cried and cried. I was suffering loss big time. Actually, what was the loss for the teenager here? His old school, the fire, means his house is burned in fire, and he lost his cat. So this actually a big suffering, a big loss for the author. The firemen couldn't wouldn't let us go back into the house that night. Actually, it's not possible. They cannot go to that house that night because it is totally burnt. It was still too dangerous, dead or alive. I couldn't imagine leaving without knowing about my cat. Actually, the boy had much attachment with the cat, so he was not in a mood to go out of that place. Regardless, I had to go. In spite of that, he had to go. We piled into the car with just the clothes on our backs and a few of the fireman's blanket and made our way to my grandparents' house to spend the night. And finally, the author and his mother went to their grandparents' house in their car. So nothing was there. Everything got burned in the house. Only what did they have for themselves? Only the clothes they were wearing, remaining all destroyed in the fire. And that some documents collected and that photos. Okay, that is there already said. The next day, Monday, I went to school. When did it happen? Sunday afternoon. Okay. Next day, Monday, I went to school. I mean, author went to school. When the fire broke out, I was still wearing the dress I had worn to church that morning, but I have no shoes. Actually, these Christians used to go to church. Okay. On Sundays, the same dress was there with the author. So with the dress only he went, but shoes were lost in the fire. I had kicked them off when I was doing my homework. Actually, the boy had the habit of removing the shoes. Okay, he has kicked them off that day, otherwise he would have his shoes. So while doing the homework, he kicked off his shoes, so it was lost in the fire. They became yet another casualty of the fire. So I had to borrow some tennis shoes from my aunt. So his aunt has got some tennis shoes, then boy wore that tennis shoes. Why couldn't I just stay home from school? And actually the boy did not want to go to school that day. He wanted to remain in the home. My mother wouldn't hear of it, but mothers are very strict. They won't allow the child to stay at home. But I was totally embarrassed by everything. What is embarrassed? Confused. I was embarrassed. Means confused by everything. The clothes I was wearing looked weird. Weird means strange. Weird means strange means not in a good condition. Okay. Shabby cloth. I had no books or homework. And my backpack. What is backpack? Bag. The bag, school bag. Backpack was gone. I had my life in that backpack. For a child, everything will be there in the school bag. All secret things also the children will keep in the school bag. So that was lost in the fire. I had my life in that backpack. The more I tried to fit in, the worse it got. I was destined to be an destiny means decided by destiny. Destiny means decided by destiny, fate. Destiny means decided by fate. Destined to be an outcast and a geek all the day. Geek all my life. That's what I felt like. I didn't want to grow up, change, or have to handle life if it was going to be this way. I just wanted to curl up and die. So the boy felt a big loss in his life. So he wanted to curl up, means twist up, twist in two. TWIST, twist, curl up. Curl up and die. Twist in two and die. So what was the boy's wish now? Just to die. Why? He faced big loss. He has no shoes now. He has no uniform to wear. He has no backpack to carry. Totally, who is embarrassed? The author is totally embarrassed. I walked around school like a zombie. What is zombie? Meaning is given. A dull person is called zombie. Meaning is given at the end of the text. A dull and apathetic means having no interest. Apathetic person, zombie. Everything is felt surreal, strange, and I wasn't sure what was going to happen, because the boy now cannot predict, because he has faced all this adverse situation. All the security I had known from my old school, my friends, my house, and my cat had all been ripped away. Ripped away means taken away from him. What are things taken away from him? Old school, his friends, his house, his cat, all these things are lost for the child. Strange. When I walked through what used to be my house after school that day, I was shocked to see how much damage there was. Next day, when the boy, on Monday, he visited the house, so he could see the damage caused by the fire. Whatever had been burned was destroyed by the water and chemicals they had used to put out the fire. Actually, the firemen used some chemicals and water to douse the fire. So the entire house is damaged either by fire or by the chemicals used by the firemen. The only material things not destroyed were the photo albums, documents, and some other personal item that my mother had managed to heroically rescue. Like a hero, he rescued, means his mother rescued all those things that were safe. But my cat was gone and my heart ached for her. Actually, the boy has got much connected. There was a bond of great relation. A bond of love was there. Like we studied, bond of love. Author's wife and the bear, Bruno. So like that here, the author has got much bond of relationship with the cat. Okay. There was no time to grieve. What is to grieve? To disappoint yourself. There is no time to be in a sorrowful state. Okay, to grieve. When you lose something, you grieve. There was no time to grieve. My mother rushed me out of the house. We would have to find a place to live, and I would have to go buy some clothes for school. Actually, I told you that the boy has only one pair of dress that he was wearing that day. Now, what is required for him? Some clothes for the school and for a new place to live. We had to borrow money from my grandparents because there were no credit cards, cash, or even my identification to be able to withdraw money from the bank. Everything had gone up in the fire or smoke. Actually, they did not have their bank passbook or credit card or any identification to be able to withdraw money from the bank. So all the such documents were lost in the fire. See how poor they became now. Okay. Okay, one more para we will do. Okay, now that week the rubble that used to be our house was being cleared off the lot. What is rubble, you know? Rubble means, write down, a mass of broken stones and bricks. A mass, M-A-S-S, mass, a mass of broken stones and bricks. Debris, another word is debris, 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 another word, rubble, debris, Debris. You may have come across. For example, if an accident happens, the remaining waste part of thing is called debris. S is silent, okay, debris. So the week, that particular week, the rubble that used to be our house was being cleared off the lot. They removed it. Even though we had rented an apartment nearby, they started living in a rented house apartment nearby. I would go over to watch them clear away debris. Yes, that word has come here. Debris is equal to rubble. Okay, the broken thing, waste material, bricks, stones, all these things are called debris. Hoping that my cat was somewhere to be found. All the time when the boy goes to that place, he would be searching for the cat. She was gone. I kept thinking about her as that vulnerable little kitten. Vulnerable means weak, weak little kitten. In the early morning, when I would disturb her and get out of bed, she would tag along after me. What is tag along means? Follow or go with. Follow or go with is called tag along after me. Climb up my robe. Robe means dress. Sometimes the cat would, he is now remembering the cat, how, what does the cat do with him. Okay, climbing up his robe and crawl into his pocket. Sometimes the kitten will go into the author's pocket to fall asleep and will sleep in the pocket. I was missing her terribly. Actually, the author was missing the cat terribly. So, dear children, today let us stop here. And before we conclude for the day, let us recall what we have discussed so far. Okay. So, today we started with the fireman rescuing author's mother, and she was totally in an almost like unconscious state because she inhaled a little smoke, and the fireman said she would be okay in a short span of time. And later the mother and the son was shifted to their grandparents' house, okay, because they could not, the fireman did not allow them to go back to the house. Okay, it would be dangerous. Okay, next day the boy wanted to go to school, but he did not have his uniform, he did not have his backpack, he did not have his notebooks, and he went using tennis shoes. Okay, even school uniform shoe was not there. He borrowed shoes from his aunt, that was a tennis shoe, and he was in the school like a zombie, a dull person. Okay, a strange situation was there for him in the school. He felt he lost his old school, his friends and house, so he felt that he should die. Okay, he wanted to curl up and die. And that same evening he went to the place where his house was, and he could see that house was totally damaged either by fire or by the chemicals used by the firemen. Okay, the only thing that they could save was some of the photo albums and his father's photo that his mother heroically rescued from the burning house. Okay, and there was no time for him to grieve or to feel himself disappointed. They rented a house, an apartment nearby, and they could see the house, the place was getting cleared from the debris or the rubble, and the boy would be searching for his cat, which was a very weak cat but could not found. And now he remembered how the cat would behave, like climbing up his cloth, crawling into his pocket, falling asleep inside the pocket, etc. Okay, so tomorrow we will continue with the text, and most probably tomorrow we can conclude. So dear children, make a thorough reading of the text, make familiarity with the text by reading it frequently, either loud reading and silent reading. Write down the important words and their meaning in your notebooks, and also write down the questions, and the solution is already shared to you in the Google Classroom. From the beginning itself it is given. Okay, that's all. Have a nice day ahead. Thank you.